Hey, good evening, everybody, or good morning and good afternoon, depending on where in the world you are and what time you're actually watching this video. But what's up, guys? I'm Tito, and thank you for coming by Aloha Android and checking out this video, where I just like to just share my thoughts, things that go through my head about mobile technology. So I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Y'all can do me a solid, smash the like button. It only takes a second, and it does help the channel out a very long way, as well as turning on bell notifications so you don't miss a video upload or when I go live. Top of that, check the description. I got some referral links and promo codes. Promo code with Google Fi to get you $60 credit. I make nothing on that because I've maxed out on credit that I can earn for referrals, but that doesn't mean that you guys have maxed out. So you guys can use that and get $60 off your first bill with Google Fi. And if you're thinking about signing up with US Mobile, I think they're a solid, super carrier. So go ahead and use my referral link in the description when you're signing up for US Mobile. So they know that, I sent you, and yeah, it helps out. Anyways, formalities out the way. Let's get into the topic with, um, Google Fi and Pixels, especially with the new Pixel 9a. Is a pretty good combination, except for a few things that I think that Google could change to just make the experience much better and make them more competitive. And I'm glad that some points are making their way across, right? Because if you look at Project Fi to when it became Google Fi, and you look at, some of the things that they were offering back in the day and what they've changed to now, right? Like, they only had the Flex plan when they were Project Fi, and then they brought in, the unlimited plan, which was pretty pricey, but nonetheless, I mean, it gave you a limited talk and text. You got like 22 gigs of high-speed data before you were throttled, and you can use the services internationally and call internationally. They since changed it up and brought in the simply unlimited plan, which gives you 35 gigs of high-speed data, unlimited talk and text, and then you got the unlimited plus, which gives you 50 gigabytes of high-speed data with unlimited talk and text and international usage. So, plus you can add on a data-only SIM card and use that in IoTs or another smartphone as a backup phone. So they made some changes, and then after that they brought in 6 months of YouTube Premium on them, which is a nice touch. I would have just rather had people have YouTube Premium as a perk for being on the Unlimited Plus plan, so that way, paying $65 before taxes and fees would actually be more, it would make more sense. But 6 months of YouTube Premium is better than nothing. So here are some things that I think that Google should change, in the fact, because like I said, been using Google Fi service. I have to keep the Google Fi service on my Pixel 9a in order to maintain the promo. Well, one of the promo conditions that I got this phone. Um, so yeah, for 120 days, I have to keep this active on Google Fi. Um, and I have no problem doing that because the T-Mobile network is not bad in my city. It's pretty good actually. The problem is that the last couple of days I've compared it along with the way that I use my other device that uses Helium Mobile, and for the same amount of time spent on social media, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Pokemon Go, currently to date, Helium clocks me at using 2.7 gigabytes of data. Well, with the same exact usage, Google Fi clocks me at using 5 gigabytes of data. That's crazy. If you're using, everything exactly the same, and you're keeping, track of like how long you've been on one social platform and what you were doing on it and replicating that exact same thing, they should be identical in usage, but they're not. So makes me wonder if the Google Fi app is consistently using data on another level that causes for higher data usage on the daily. And if so, that really hurts the customer because then it's like it's data that's being counted as used that the customer didn't get to use yet they paid for. So I mean, we know that apps required a solid data connection always, just to basically keep certain information refreshed. And so it's so weird that we have these limitations like that, right? Like it's something that I can live with. It's not unbearable where I'm just gonna pull my hair out and scream to death. But at the same time, too, you have other companies that are going fully unlimited, right? Like Mobile X is going fully unlimited for 25 bucks, right? Visible's got fully unlimited plans starting at 25 bucks. There are so many companies that's going fully unlimited. I think these limitations should be a thing of the past. I think we should have already transcended that point to where we're getting fully unlimited. Um, the capacity is almost there to be able to handle that type of data traffic load, in my opinion. So, anyways, a couple of things I think that Google Fi could update. Um, One is RCS messaging, Google Chat, and Google Meets. I think that these three apps, the usage on them, the data that's used should not be counted against your data allotment. So if you're on the Simply Unlimited, these three apps should not take away from your 35 gigs of priority high speed data. And if you're on the Unlimited Plus, it shouldn't take away from the 50 gigabytes. Um, yes, I know people use things like WhatsApp or they use, Instagram, chat or Facebook, Messenger. But the reality is that there's a lot of people that still use the Android messages RCS, which uses data when you're sending messages. And then, you got Google Chat, like, I chat with BTech through Google Chat, and that obviously uses data. And then, Google Meets video calling uses data. And these are things that, are basic functions of the smartphone, right? They're not special edition features that you're using. They're meant to be used and used frequently. And these are Google's own products and services. So I thought, it would be cool if they actually did that and made it to where it doesn't count. And yes, it is possible to do. In other countries, there are MVNO prepaid or postpaid providers that let you pick specific apps that you mostly use, and those won't count against your actual monthly data. So you can have like a 4 gigabyte data plan. Um, and while a lot of us would be like, well, that's too little, we don't know that these carriers, in these other countries outside the United States actually have something in place where they're like, hey, Facebook is on us. So every time you're on Facebook, it's not using against your 4 gigabytes of data. So there's a way that they can regulate this. Um, it could be done. So I just don't see why they don't do it. They made a lot of growth, made a lot of changes, and even like I said before, like they should have added in YouTube Premium. Now I said that they should have added it to the Plus plan, and that it should be free because we pay such a high price for the Plus plan. Might as well give more into it so that way the value seems to match up. But they only gave 6 months of YouTube Premium, but that's still better than nothing. But these are one of the things I think that they can change. Honestly, their pricing tier needs to change too as well. If they're only going to offer 35 gigs, I think that plan, instead of it being $50, should be dropped down to $25 to kind of compete against other companies like Helium Mobile, which charges $25, well, $20 for 28 gigs of data if you're on the old plan. Um, and then, yeah, they have the new Infinity plan, right? You got Boost Mobile that is doing 30 gigs for $25. Mobile X used to do that, and now they're fully unlimited. And Visible is still fully unlimited, starting at $25. US Mobile's got a starter plan at $25. So for Google Fi to be competitive on that part, I honestly feel like that the Simply Unlimited plan should be dropped down to $25. I mean, you get no real big benefit perk out of it. There's no international usage, right? You can't take it overseas and use it. So, but that's the other thing that I would change about Google Fi. And whatever it is that's causing Pixels to get a little bit on the warm side for being active on Google Fi service, they really need to look into that. I've used my devices like on Metro by T-Mobile, Helium, Q-Link, and for the most part, they've been fine. Every time that I use a smartphone on Google Fi, the phone tends to warm up at times. So that's just weird. But these things, I think that Google Fi can look into, and on good faith, for a lot of us who really want to like the company and really want to like the services, uh, you know, figure out those limitations, fix them, and the high data usage, fix that. There's no reason why one service should say that my daily usage is 2.7 gigs of data, and then Google Fi saying that I use about 5 gigs a day. Like that's just, it's just weird.